doctors. It's one of the Saturday evening posts about health pictures. I think there's two reasons I really like it. One, growing up, my grandfather had a copy of this in his house, and so I saw it in good memories. But as I got further in my career, I realized that this really kind of shows a lot about pediatrics. The doctor kind of examining it all, helping the kid, even if it has nothing to do with specific health or being sick. And I will say I've examined a lot of stuffed animals and dolls. It always helps kids feel more comfortable. I had one patient, I had to examine all three of the dolls, had to listen to all of their hearts, and then I could listen to hers, and then I'll look in all their ears. The really scary thing is when you start convincing yourself you hear a heartbeat. I know it's kind of weird to put the question slide here. I only going to be here for the first half an hour, so I want to make sure, number one, I'm really informal, and I want to make sure that if anybody has any questions, I have some slides, I have some stuff that I've said to talk about, but really this is also, do you guys have questions? Is there anything pressing from you? So just interrupt me at any time. If I don't get all of my things. So these are our pediatric providers. Most of us here are at the Pond Rock Regional Clinic here. The grasses are actually med peds, so they have both training in pediatrics and medicine. And Dr. Light is our pediatrician out at Richmond. So what exactly is pediatrics? It's a specialty of medicine, I would say the best specialty, but I'm a little biased, specializing in the care of children. In order to become a pediatrician, you do your 4 years of medical school and your 3 years of residency training. And this is the basic you need to become a general pediatrician. But we do have the options to either give general care or to subspecialize. So if you wanted to specialize in pediatric pulmonology, care of lungs and kids, or a neonatologist, care of the youngest and sickest, then you generally go through a fellowship that generally is 2 to 3 years. There might be one that's only a year, but most of the time it's 2 to 3 extra years. So there's a range of practice options. Here we have a little bit about inpatient and outpatient. So we have the clinics that you sort of think about when you're taking your child to the doctor, but we also see babies in the nursery and in the hospital, and we admit some kids here, generally if it's getting to be more acute care, we will send them to the children's hospital. There are some people who only do outpatient pediatrics. They don't admit, they don't see babies in the nursery. Babies are born, somebody else sees them, and then they come follow up. And then there are even general pediatricians who work just in the hospital setting as a hospitalist. If you're a little bit more interested in a little bit more acute, but not actually subspecializing in anything. Generally, a lot of people think of doctors as, especially right now, my kid has a fever, I've got a cold, I've got flu, I've got RSV, rhinovirus, adenovirus, these are all going around right now. But a bigger thing that we do is the preventative care. So I've always said I don't need people to be sick to have a job. I'm one of the few people that, everybody could always be healthy and I still have a job because we see people for the well checks, make sure they're growing well, check development, and just kind of answer questions that parents have. And then on to sort of, for me, the frequently asked questions I get. Again, this is a lot of what I hear. If there's something that you want to know and beyond some of this, please let me know. The first one is really, hey, I'm pregnant, or my wife is pregnant, my partner's pregnant. When do we start thinking about our pediatrician? If this is, if you have other kids, oftentimes you're set up with one, and you don't even have to think about this. You automatically know where you're going. But especially if it's the first child, okay, when do I start? What should I look into? How do I get a pediatrician? There are some people who kind of never think about it. They come to the hospital, deliver their baby, and one of us sees the baby, whoever's on call, and they go, hey, you weren't so bad. I'm just going to keep following up with you. But most of the time, I recommend that you sort of start thinking about it ahead of time. Talk to friends who have pediatricians or have kids, and see who they have, see what they like, see what they don't, see the practice styles. I think all of us here, all of my partners and I feel are clinically very good pediatricians, but we all are a little bit different in our style and our personalities. And so a lot of this is about how those personalities jive, how comfortable you feel. Because we really want you to feel comfortable with your pediatrician, because we're really trying to work together to help kind of bring your kids up as healthy as they can be. We will do what are called meet and greets. Where if you're pregnant and before the baby's even born, you go, I just sort of want to meet you. We give you, we have you call, we give you an appointment time and sit down and talk to you and answer any questions you may have. Get a chance to go well. We wait till the morning. We don't want to bother you. But there are times where the OBs feel that it would be beneficial to be there at the birth. If it's a C-section that wasn't scheduled, if there's a concern something may be going on, if the baby's born a little early, we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to be there if needed. And that actually leads into my next slide, which talks a little bit about our new nursery. I'm going to let you see our video about it. You might
The day your baby is born is a very exciting time, and you want the best possible care for your newborn. Find comfort knowing the baby will be monitored throughout your stay by our comprehensive pediatric team, including nurses, board-certified pediatricians, and a specialized advanced nurse practitioner trained in neonatal and pediatric care. As a designated level 1 special care nursery, St. Mary's Hospital is equipped with 4 special care nursery suites with the latest technology for babies who may need extra support after their birth. Our pediatric team serves newborns as young as 34 weeks right here close to home. Our providers work together in offering the highest level of education and support to parents so they can be empowered to make the best choices for their baby and family. The pediatricians, obstetricians, nurses, and lactation consultants promote family-centered care by encouraging families to participate in babies' care and helping them to learn how to care for and integrate their babies into their lives. For a new mom and dad, there are many questions that arise during their baby's first moments of life and beyond. While babies do not come with a manual, our pediatric team of doctors and nurses provide medical support and reassurance to mom and family anytime it is needed.
We're really excited about our new nursery. The interesting thing about it is we love it, but we actually hope not to have to use it that often because this is a little different than kind of the old nurseries where you had the big window and all the babies lined up and people would say, hey, I just want to go look at the babies. It really now is more of a place for the babies needing a little extra care. The focus for otherwise healthy babies has become staying in room with mom, and that also looks really nice in the new limited infants unit. They've really designed it well to help support that. So then the next question I get when babies are leaving is, okay, when do I have to see you next? And these are the general appointments. First, we do what's called a weight check. All babies lose some weight when they are first born, and so we generally check them a few days after to make sure they're not losing too much, or to see if they've started turning around to gain. The other thing we check here is something called jaundice, which is a yellow color some babies get. It's a very common thing, but if it gets a little bit high, we have special lights that we use to treat it. We actually used to go straight to the 2-week check. We found we were missing a lot of kids who were having this high jaundice, which is why some of that weight check actually became a recommended appointment. The 2-week check is your first sort of well check or physical as you think about generally when you're taking your kids to the doctor. One of the big things we watch here is this is when we expect kids to be back to their birth weight. So that's one of the big things we're looking at. And after the nursery, this is also the first time in the outpatient that we do sort of the full head to toe, looking at everything. The weight check is a little bit quicker than looking at very specific things. After that, for the well checks, we do a 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 24 month, and then yearly until 18. Next question I often get is, okay, when is my baby going to need their shots? And so there's actually one that we give at birth, that's a hepatitis B. After that, it's at the 2, 4, 6, 12, 15, 18, and 24 month visits. Depending on the time of the year, the 9 month is either a time without vaccines, or if it's the flu season, we offer the flu vaccine at that time. After that, you have 4 or 5 years. These are the traditional kindergarten shots, but they can be given younger in preschool, and some preschools are starting to want those too, just to help kind of the population health. After that, we get a very nice long break until around 11 years old. So a couple that can be a little earlier, but really it's generally around that 11-year check, and then a booster at 16, and then within that, the annual flu. So if you do the flu, you have one a year in the flu season. Otherwise, these are the times that we have kind of normal scheduled vaccines. Which often leads to the big question of, tell me about vaccines. I hear that if I give a baby a vaccine, the arm will turn purple, or I get autism, or anything weird like that. And this is honestly a talk unto itself. This is something that we can get into all of the data, all of the concerns. But this is one of those times where this is why having a pediatrician you feel comfortable with. If you have these questions or concerns, you want somebody who's going to sit down and talk to you about it and work it out with you and see what you feel comfortable doing. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Anybody's free to find me at any time if you have specific questions about this. But I sometimes spend 15 minutes in an appointment if people have specific questions, discussing concerns, data out there, what are kind of ways we can look at that. In general, we do recommend going by the vaccine schedule. They have been shown to be very safe, and it's not just 50 years ago we gave the polio vaccine and it was safe. There are actually continuous monitoring systems where if there is a concern that something occurred after vaccine was given, that is reported, and so it is constantly watched. So again, if people have questions, definitely ask your pediatrician about that. Any of us should be really open to talking to you about it. So then, another big question I get. Some of you may have seen this is a growth chart with height and weight. So we'll go through, we'll say, here's your height, here's your weight, here are the percentages. You're at the 30th percentile for weight, 40th percentile for height. People know that's very nice. What does that mean? And so what those percentiles mean is that in a room of 100 normal kids that age, if you're at the 30 percentile for weight, you would weigh more than 30 of those people, less than 70. And the important thing to remember is these are normal kids. So if we're on the growth chart, generally speaking, we're in a normal weight range. The other thing we look, though, is where do we expect you to be? If I've got two parents who are 6 foot and their child's at the 10th percent for height, that doesn't quite jive. By the same token, if I have a child whose parents are both 4 feet 11 and they're the 90th percentile, you have to go, why is that? And then do they kind of fit together? If I'm really tall but really low on the weight chart, obviously I'm going to be a little bit underweight, and we're going to want to know why. If I'm short but higher, obviously the weight is not jiving there either. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's pretty pictures, obviously, but there's more than just here's where you are. There's a lot of trends. What do we expect? And again, if you have any questions, honestly, most of the time kids are doing well. And so I just show, hey, see, we're growing on our curves. Everything looks good. But if anything's off, we will talk to you about why we are or are not concerned with it, where it might be. Some other frequently asked questions. Biggest one that first came to mind for me was this baby hiccups and sneezing. Probably half of my weight check and 2-week appointments, I get the question, well, they're still sneezing, or they really have the hiccups. It is very, very common. In fact, a lot of babies are hiccuping inside mom even before they're born, and that kind of continues for a while. So those are very normal, but something that a lot of people will ask about. The sneezing, especially because babies really breathe mostly out of their nose. They don't breathe out of their mouth much unless they're screaming, and so any tickle or anything in the nose will cause them to sneeze. Another big question, just anything having to do with baby poop. Actually had a friend in residency who decided not to go into general pediatrics because she didn't want to talk about baby poop all the time. But the subspecialty she initially wanted, she realized she didn't like, so she went into neonatology, which means all she sees are babies, and therefore sees a lot of baby poop. So common questions, how often, what's the normal color? Generally, I tell people anything in the yellow, green, brown spectrum is normal. The 3 colors I worry about is if they've got blood, so red, black, and tarry. Newborns are going to have a meconium that looks like that, but once that's cleared, you shouldn't go back to black and tarry. And then if it's white with absolutely no color. Those would be the 3 things you definitely want to tell a doctor about a BC. And then how often, what should it look like? Babies, especially breastfed babies, can poop 7 times a day or once every 7 days. Whereas older kids, if you're pooping once every 7 days, we start to worry that you're into that constipation. That's not always the case with the young kids. You actually, as long as it's soft, they're not having pain, not spitting up, not seeming like it's bothering them. If they're going once a week and it's soft, we don't worry. But the flip side of that is if you're going once a day but it's hard and painful, then we want to figure out why and help that. And then that leads into my next topic, which is the constipation. This is actually a very, very common thing in pediatrics and oftentimes sort of not recognized. Once a kid gets to an age where they're going to the bathroom on their own, very few people are going in to check and see what the poop looks like or do you poop. And although some kids really like to talk about poop, a lot don't. And even if it hurts or it's not, it takes them a long time to go, they don't want to tell you. And so this is actually probably the most surprising thing that parents find out because routinely on my well checks, I will ask the child, do you poop every day and does it hurt? And again, I've had more surprised parents when the kid's like, yeah, sometimes it does. And they sort of look like, why didn't you tell me? So this is a very common cause of pediatric abdominal pain. And I know that sometimes, like, if kids are coming in with significant pain, just seeming off, and I tell you, oh, it's just because they haven't pooped. It can sound like, I know it can sound like I'm blowing it off, that, oh, it's just a poop. But really, that's very, very common, that this can cause a lot of pain and discomfort, and they don't tell you. As kids get older, behavior becomes another thing that we talk about. A lot of people are aware of the terrible twos, so we talk about different ways of discipline and ways to deal with some of that behavior. But as kids get older, the behavior questions become, all right, is this normal teenage stuff, or are we starting to look at ADD, anxiety, depression, what is this? Do I need to be concerned? Or is this kind of a normal kid going through that age? And then off of that is, okay, let's say you do think it's ADD, depression, anxiety. As a general pediatrician, can you treat that, or do I have to go see a specialist? And the answer is, sort of it depends. When it comes to ADD and ADHD, most pediatricians are very comfortable with that and will prescribe medications. If you're getting to the point where the medications we start with aren't helping, or we're having to get to large doses or more than one medication, or there's other symptoms where like, this doesn't completely fit with ADHD, then we're going to have you evaluated by a specialist to make sure we're not missing anything. The anxiety and the depression is really where there's more of a variation. Some pediatricians, depending on your training, feel more comfortable with those medications and that diagnosis than others. For me, there are a couple of medicines I feel comfortable with. So basically two of them, and so if you're doing well on those, have no side effects, then I will happily see you for your anxiety, depression. If we're either getting to doses that are a little more than a general pediatrician would feel comfortable with, or if we're starting to look at needing more than one type of medication, that becomes sort of a step out of most general pediatricians' wheelhouse. And so that will often have you see a specialist. Although most of us will also want you to see a counselor because the actual first-line treatment for most anxiety, depression is counseling as opposed to going straight to medication. So part of seeing us is also saying, where are you? Are you in that mild to moderate where we think the counseling is really enough? Or if we've bumped up into the severe range where even before we get you into counseling, we'll start the medicine and the counseling at the same time. And then as kids are growing, pediatricians, we generally see kids to about 18. Some practices go a little bit longer. Here at the Fungal Clinic, we pretty much set it at 15 or after your senior year of high school. So if somebody were to turn 18 in the early part of their senior year, we don't kick you out, say, too bad, go see an adult doctor. But as we're getting older, we think, okay, when should I switch? 18 is a good time. Also, I have a lot of kids will switch earlier, especially the teenage boys, when they realize I still have to do the hernia exam. So they'll often go, can I see a guy? And we do have some male pediatricians, but if you're getting to 15, 16, to switch once to a different pediatrician and then in a few years to an adult doctor. Some want to do that, some want to stay with a pediatrician. But a lot will say, all right, if I'm only going to see this male pediatrician once and then I have to go see an adult doctor, why not just do the one switch? You also get some who feel that, they're very they're too old for the frog wallpaper or the toys out in the waiting room when all the little kids. So some will want to switch earlier just because they feel that, hey, I'm an adult now, that I'm a teenager, so I need to see an adult doctor. Others will say, do I really have to leave? I think there are some who would see their pediatrician until 40 if they could. Along with that, often get the question of if you're female and you're seeing an OBGYN, does that mean that I've now moved on to an adult doctor? Do I have to not see you? And the answer is no. We have lots of young women who are seeing both us and OBGYNs, especially if there's concerns about problems with their period, anything like that. Generally, we do sort of make a cutoff that as if you have had a child, because you have more adult issues and health issues that come up after that, and it's not something we're trained for. But other than that, there is no reason to stop seeing pediatricians who are also seeing an OBGYN. And then another question, I often will say, if my computer's not working, I may not immediately call tech support or take it in. I'll look up online, what can I do? And a lot of parents want that, like, hey, I don't want to have to bring them in, or I'd like a good resource. What are some good resources for me for kids? First of all, the pediatrics department. We have great nurses who, if you've just got a question, call us. We will help you with any questions. Is this cold something I need to come in for? What can I do about the hard stools? What do you recommend? So never feel bad about calling us if there was a concern or question. But other good places for parents, healthychildren.org is a website put on by the American Academy of Pediatrics specifically geared towards parents. And I actually have taken some of their pages and used them as handouts because I really like the way it's laid out. Children's Hospital of Wisconsin's website, they have teaching sheets that they give out or that other doctors can print out. It takes a little bit more to find these, but they are really good teaching sheets. And if you're looking for something on, how to feed my baby, how do I introduce solid food, you can check there. I actually, when I was in residency in Ohio, one of my co-residents was looking for good teaching sheets. One of the attendings was like, well, there's this hospital, it's Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, you should go on their website. So even other hospitals have recommended the teaching sheets here. The American Academy of Pediatrics has a website, aap.org. This is geared a little bit more towards actual medical professionals, but definitely somewhere if you feel comfortable and want to take a look, you can look there. Some of these might also help you with finding a pediatrician in your area. And then the obligatory slide of a few pictures. This is one that shows that, again, why pediatrics is the greatest subspecialty. So this was us 2 years ago at Halloween. I am Snow White. Dr. Santa is the Evil Queen. That is my nurse there is Grumpy. Dr. Darwich is Ash from Pokemon. And then some of our other nurses, so you will generally see either on Halloween or if it's over a weekend the Friday before. We're having a lot of fun in pediatrics. This is my godson and his 1-year birthday, and this is my horse Tom's. And then I think that's it. Any questions? Anything?
A strange one about hiccup.
Yes.
Is there any protective physiological use or is it just a spasm of the diaphragm?
As far as I know, spasm of the diaphragm. I haven't heard anything about, where it came from.
Or trying to tell me that it's basically suppressor and stuff.
I haven't heard one way or the other, but it's always seemed just like, the spasm. Some people ask what you do about it. There's not a lot, but, like for adults, if I have the hiccups, I try to hold my breath or drink something. Please do not try to make the baby hold their breath. If you want to try to get it the bottle and feed them, sort of does the same thing. Whether it helps a lot or not, it may not, but it helps me with my hiccups when I drink something, so it's what I'll recommend. Yes?
I know we're going to be talking about diet in a second, but I have a grandson who would live on milk and nothing else, and it's hard to get any food in that child. I mean, it is torture to get food in that child. Is that healthy, just to live on milk or chocolate milk?
Milk has a lot of good nutrition in it, but actually it doesn't have everything kids need, and too much milk can actually interfere with iron absorption. So we will have kids who drink too much milk that actually are anemic. simply from drinking the milk.
And I even noticed that in talking about poop, there's like little to no color.
Milk will often wash that out, and that's why it's pure white that we worry about. Kind of tan or light is fine, but milk will often make it really light. But yeah, trying to get some other stuff in there if we can would be.
I think we can chocolate. There's something else in there.
Any other questions or concerns? All right. Again, if anything comes up, please don't hesitate to contact me or our pediatrics office.
To call this cooking is really stretching it a little bit. I'm just going to prepare something super quick. So building a healthy diet for your child. And, you know, I'm not a pediatric dietitian, but I am a mom. So I think that is a pretty good experience. I have a 3-year-old, and I know getting them to eat lots of foods is difficult at times, or especially new things. So it can be a challenge. So there's lots of recommendations, but of course, I know not all children are going to eat everything that we put in front of them. So it can be a challenge. All right, so what is the goal of a healthy diet for your child? You know, the number one thing would be supporting a healthy growth rate. Of course, if they're growing and everything is going well, then you're doing a good job. And even those picky eaters, they tend to grow okay. That helps take a little bit of pressure off. If they're still growing and developing as they should, then they're probably getting most of what they need. You could supplement with a multivitamin or something like that. But certainly they are hopefully getting enough. Also to supply energy, protein, vitamins, minerals. You know, that's what our diets in general are for. Also to reduce our risk of chronic disease. So eating healthy today will help you to be healthy tomorrow. So that's certainly something that is part of introducing a healthy diet with kids. Also, we want to teach our kids to enjoy healthy foods. So if they grow up eating healthy foods, then it's more likely that they're going to eat healthy as an adult. So that is just developing those healthy habits is a big goal of parents as they're raising their children. So how much does your child need? You know, sometimes I think that our kids need a whole lot more than they actually do. We put adult-sized portions on their plates. Especially when it comes to fruits and veggies or even your protein items. They really don't need a lot. So let's take a look. This is actually a really good chart, and I actually printed it up so that it's easier to read for people that need it as a reference. But it actually goes by the age and then progresses. And then once, in the adolescent years, it splits it up between boys and girls because the needs might be just a little bit different as kids develop. But just looking at 2 to 3-year-olds, they only need about 2 ounces of protein. So for a 3-ounce serving size of protein is the size of a deck of cards, okay? So they only need 2 ounces in a whole day, so they only need 2/3 of a deck of cards. So split that mentally in your minds, that deck of cards into 3 pieces, and it's just a small little size, maybe the size of a Jenga block might be a good reference to show you what 1 ounce of protein might look like. An egg is also a good representation of what 1 ounce would be. With vegetables, in a whole day, they need 1 cup if they're 2 to 3 years old, and then it gets a little bit larger as they get older. So you just mentally take those serving sizes that they need for the whole day and split it up among the meals that they're going to eat, meals and snacks. So if your child doesn't eat a whole lot at one meal, then you might need to spread it out between several meals. And that's okay. Some kids are grazers. Some kids eat larger meals. So you could split it. You know, if they will eat a half a cup of vegetables in a sitting, then they only really need 2 servings of vegetables every day. If they are just going to eat 2 carrots, then maybe you present vegetables to them at all meals and all snacks in just a small serving size. So that's kind of how you do it. You split these servings up throughout the day and then try to just make sure that they're getting that total amount in. As far as dairy products go, you had the question about how much they need. You know, kids that are 2 to 3 years old only need about 2 cups a day, and sometimes those kids are constantly drinking milk. They never drink water, so presenting other types of fluids that aren't going to fill them up, like water or something like that, might be a good option because there is that iron deficiency anemia that kids can need, especially young kids can get if they're not consuming some of the other foods that are on this list. So that's basically how you do it. You take how much they need for the whole day and then split it up. All right, so after you split it up, you need to make a plan. You know, if you are going to feed your child healthy food, you have to have healthy food in the house. So take a look at what you have on hand. We're going to divide those recommended servings. Also, if you don't want your kids to eat junk food at home, then don't buy it. You know, you probably don't need it, they don't need it, so don't buy chips. You know, most kids are going to choose Cheetos over carrots if they're available. So trying to keep some of that junk food out of the house is a good idea. Replace things like chips and cookies and other foods that are really nutrient void. And have instead fruits, veggies, trail mix, things that offer nutrition or have healthy components to them. And then, you know, if you're providing healthier foods at home, it really takes that pressure off of having the occasional treat away from home or here and there. We don't want to take treats away from kids. That's fine. They should be able to have treats here and there. We just don't want them to rely on treats every single day or for all of the things. Every time they ask for a snack, they're asking for fruit snacks or something like that. That's really not what the goal is. Prepare most of your meals at home. And I know this is hard, especially for people that are working full-time, or even for moms that are at home all day. It's hard because you've got a kid to watch all day. So, but in general, meals prepared at home are generally a lot healthier than anything that you're going to buy in the store already prepared or at a restaurant. So even if you aren't eating at home, say you have soccer practice or softball practice, you're running around here and there and everywhere, then you can pack something to take on the go. So pack a picnic lunch, you know, if it's the warm weather or on-the-go meals, to avoid frequenting those fast food chains. Because really the options there, even though they've tried to make them a little bit healthier, are still not that great. It's also a lot more budget friendly. You know, going to restaurants doesn't seem like it costs you that much. You know, when a kid's meal's, less than $5, but really you could have made the same food at home for a lot cheaper. So it really helps that budget a lot too. So I'm going to quickly make a quick lunch, or it could be for a dinner, like one of those soccer practice night dinners, or even like a dinner at home if you're not able to cook something. So I've got hummus here and a whole grain tortilla. My child really likes hummus. They say 9 out of 10 kids like hummus. So if you haven't introduced hummus to your child, it's probably a good idea to. They might not like it initially. It might take a couple tries, but for the most part, they are going to like it. This is a roasted red pepper hummus, but I find even my child really likes plain. The way I introduced it to her was just on whole wheat bread, or with like pretzels to dip it in it or something like that. And that's a really good way. In the wrap, sometimes it might taste a little bit different, but this is a great lunch idea. There's about 2 tablespoons of hummus on here, and I'm just going to spread it on the tortilla. I actually made this for my 3-year-old last night, and I will tell you that it didn't go over very well, but it was because I had a taco flavored hummus. That was all I had besides this olive one. And I was like, I don't know if she'll do the olive one. I'll just do this taco one. Well, she doesn't like anything that is remotely spicy. Even if I don't think it's spicy, she doesn't like it. So it didn't go over super well. But normally she really likes hummus. So it does go over very well. All right, so I spread it on the tortilla, and then I've got a little bit of cheese. That helps hit that dairy mark that we need. Also provides a little bit extra substance for it. And I'm just going to spread it onto, like 2/3 of it or something, because I need the hummus to help hold the wrap together. You do want to make sure you're choosing a 100% whole grain tortilla. Because, you know, we want to try to make sure that we're introducing our kids to whole wheat products, 100% whole wheat bread, any whole wheat product today, because, you know, if you grow up on white bread, it's hard to switch later. So you want to try to introduce those healthy habits early. We're just going to add a little bit of carrots. We got about a tablespoon here, and these are grated carrots. You could just chop up some carrots. You could even chop it finer. If your kid doesn't like veggies, you want to hide it in there, you could chop it up even finer than I am here. And this isn't like an entire serving of veggies that we're adding to this. You know, it's just like a little taste. It helps develop in your kids that taste for liking vegetables on their food. Also, diced red pepper. And the smaller you dice it, the more it's hidden. So just put it on there. If your kid does not like hummus, you try it. I think like a whipped cream cheese, unflavored, is a good option for spreading on a tortilla and then adding some extra veggies. I know my daughter is a very big fan of that. And peanut butter is also a good option. And maybe you want to go more towards adding like some diced apple or banana. Tortillas are nice portable vessels for lunches and things like that. So, all right, let's put that on there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and roll it up from the side that I started with. And you see some of it's going to push into that other spot. And then the hummus in the end is going to hold it together. And then if so for really little kids, usually I would cut this into small little bite-sized pieces. That's how I always start it with mine, almost like a pinwheel, like just like that. And then just sit them on the plate like that, almost looks like sushi or something like that. But for an older kid, they could probably have the wrap whole or just cut in half, and they could just eat it like that. So that's something super easy. It's good for adults too, and there's so many things that you could add to it. You could add avocado, you could add black beans, you could do all kinds of things to make that something good. The other thing that I'm going to go ahead and prep really quick is a quick, simple ranch dip, because at my house, my daughter loves ranch, and she would just eat it with a spoon, and, you know, that's probably not the greatest thing. So a Greek yogurt ranch dip is what we're going to do. So basically, this is the base. This is something super easy. You could just eyeball it even after you know sort of what it looks like when it's going in. And you can add different flavors that you want. This is simple ranch. So this is just plain Greek yogurt, and I just used one of those individual serving size ones, so you don't have to make a large amount, because it's not going to last as long as like the ranch dressing in the bottle or the dips that you buy in the store. So you can it probably lasts like 5 to 7 days, but not too long, okay? So we've got just plain Greek yogurt in here, and it's generally speaking, those single serving sizes are they're between 5 and 6 ounces, okay? I'm going to add just a little bit of vinegar. It's about a teaspoon of vinegar here. This is white wine vinegar, but you could also add cider vinegar. You could add some other fancy vinegar that you might have. Just a teaspoon is needed. That kind of gives it that buttermilky kind of flavor, a little bit of a tang. We're going to add some simple spices. So we've got granulated onion or onion powder, and a garlic powder. These are a quarter teaspoon apiece, okay? All these seasonings and spices. And then a quarter teaspoon of salt. And a quarter teaspoon of dried dill. And you can use fresh herbs if you want to. If your child doesn't like dill, you can also use parsley, or you can just leave it up. If they don't like green stuff, then they're things, you can just leave it up. All right, and then you just give it a quick whisk. You could probably serve it right away. Kids probably won't care, but the flavor will probably get better after about an hour or so. And then you can just store it in the fridge, and you can always have a dip that it's okay for them to spoon in, okay? And it's good for adults too, right? If you really like dip, then that's the only way you'll eat vegetables, and this is a great way to do it, because now it's something that you can truly eat a ton of. And then you just put a small serving on that plate. So I also added just a small serving of fruit. This is about half a cup of fruit on this plate. So, you know, for a small child, they might not even need that much. And a half a cup of carrots right here. So just to kind of see, those portion sizes are actually really small. For a small child, they probably only need half this tortilla. They probably wouldn't need the whole thing. All right. All right, So another important thing that you want to do with your kids is you want to try to engage them. They're a lot more receptive to trying new foods when maybe they help prepare it or grow it in their garden. Let them have input into the meal planning. Maybe they have a favorite food that they would like to have for dinner that week, and they might look forward to it. If you have several kids, that really helps take the pressure off of you. Obviously, you're still a parent, so you can kind of control that a little bit. You can't just always have macaroni and cheese every night. I think that's what my daughter would eat. Grow a vegetable garden. When they grow their own vegetables and see them grow, they're a lot more apt to try them. You may want to have them participate in meal prep. It's really kind of fun. I mean, obviously, really young children, it's limited what they can do, but they really, my 3-year-old, we made blueberry muffins together, and she just loved getting that spoon out and stirring, even though she's making a big mess. I just kind of have to let it go and let her do something, because she really does enjoy it, and then, of course, eating it later is all better. Make eating a positive experience. If you're constantly badgering your child about eating, they're not going to want to come to the table. And it's not going to be positive. Kids will eat when they're hungry, so just try to keep presenting, offer snacks later. If they didn't eat a very large meal, try not to always offer an alternative, to what you made that they don't want, because then they'll just always ask for something different. Also encourage your kids to listen to their body. So often we're telling them they have to clean their plate, or you have to finish this up before you can have this item like a dessert or something like that. And that really is actually encouraging overeating at times. So I like to try to use the terms, is your belly full, or something like that. And sometimes maybe she says her belly is full like right away if she doesn't like when I'm serving. I say, oh, really? And then she'll start eating something. So, and then later maybe they're hungry right away and they didn't probably eat enough. But just trying to use that language to try to get them to listen to their body's cues is really important. You don't want them to start cleaning their plate and really learn to overeat and develop that bad habit. And then eating together as a family. This is so important. Even, sometimes, honestly, my daughter and I are not eating the same exact food. But we're eating together, and maybe sometimes then she'll ask for a taste of what I'm eating. Usually it's because it's something spicy, and of course she doesn't like spicy at all. But try to eat with them. Turn off all those electronic devices and televisions, and really just kind of enjoy that meal together. It's a good time to converse, Conversation with a 2 or 3-year-old is kind of challenging sometimes, but certainly as your kids get older, it's a good opportunity to really develop good conversational skills. Find out how their day was. Research has shown that family meals are beneficial in so many ways for physical, mental, emotional health. They say there's the risk of depression is less, teen pregnancy, obesity, so many things just by simply eating meals together. Picky eaters. I know that there's a lot of picky eaters out. I'm really grateful that I don't have a super picky eater, because I don't know how I would deal with that. But keep introducing foods. Sometimes picky eaters just need to see the same food offered more than once, so it's familiar. Try a tasting plate. Sometimes a low pressure, even away from a meal sometimes, can be a better way to introduce a food or something new. Sometimes even at school, it's easier because all their friends are trying a new fruit or vegetable or something like that, so they might be more willing to try it. I've even seen people call the tasting plate a bravery plate. It's a no-pressure plate, like little separate plate, very small, tiny portion size. If you're brave enough, you can try this. Sometimes they will. Set a good example. If you're not eating vegetables and fruits on your plate, they start to question it after a while. So set a good example for your kids. If you have personal feelings about certain food, for instance, I don't like olives, I try not to talk about it a whole lot with my child. She really likes olives, so I'm really glad that she does. So sometimes it's good if you specifically are pretty picky about things, try to open your mind up to them a little bit more, or at least make sure you introduce them to your kids. And then introduce new foods with familiar foods. If you put an entire plate of things that look different in front of your child, they might like turn around and walk away from the dinner table. So it's much better to put very familiar foods with something maybe new for the first time. Offer praise for healthy eating choices instead of saying, you don't want to say, oh, you're too thin, or things like that. But offer praise for healthy eating choices. Oh, you're such a healthy eater. When they try something new, that's a great way to reinforce that that's a good habit. And then, of course, guilt force eating, which we kind of touched on a little bit earlier. Sneaking veggies and fruits is also an option for those picky eaters. Smoothies and popsicles are a great way to do it. So especially if your child really likes to drink things, you can blend all kinds of things into a smoothie, and it can actually taste pretty good. Kids are not even afraid of things that are different colors, like green and things like that. So veggies and fruits usually you want to include. Usually kids are really good fruit eaters. They're sweet naturally, so they're pretty receptive. Try to add as little sugar as possible. If you use a pretty sweet fruit, you usually don't need to add a lot of sugar or honey or any. Sweet fruits are going to decrease the need. So a good example of a sweet fruit might be like pineapple or banana. Those are nice sweet fruits that will add a lot of sweetness to a smoothie. You can also add a protein if you want to kind of make it more of a meal. So yogurt, plain, usually if you are using vanilla or something like that, that's fine, but that is going to, definitely reduce the need for added sugar. Milk, even like peanut butter or almond butter, beans can actually have a really creamy component. And they really don't have a lot of flavor, so you can add beans. That's a great way to get in a legume. Nut butter, like peanut butter, is usually a legume as well. You can also add whole grain, like oatmeal. If your kids really don't like greens, that can be a good way to just blend it right in there. Definitely want to avoid adding ice cream or frozen yogurt. That makes it more of a milkshake than a smoothie. So those things are generally shouldn't be added. They usually have a lot of added sugar, so try to stick with some of those other actual food type items. You can also grate or add purees to quick breads, soups, casseroles, all kinds of things. So most people have seen, you can put like applesauce and like banana bread and things like that. But there's really ways to expand that out. People hide purees into all kinds of things. There's entire cookbooks and websites dedicated to this. They're deceptively delicious, and there's even some out there that are geared to more adults that don't like their vegetables and things like that, and purees that you can actually use to sneak that in. Now, as far as sneaking things in, it probably doesn't teach your child a whole lot. Okay, so sometimes I'm not all for the sneaking it in method 100% of the time. But if your kid is pretty picky, then it might be a good way to get them in a little extra. And for the most part, still keep introducing those whole and fruits and veggies and things like that to try to teach them to enjoy those. All right. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions about healthy eating? I didn't offer a whole lot of meal ideas, but there is a plethora of websites out there that do offer healthy lunch ideas and things like that too. Any questions? Yeah?
About the whole grain white, we tried a variety of wheats and then we went to whole grain white and it seems like they eat that well.
A whole grain white flour or like a whole grain white bread?
Bread.
Okay. So most of the whole grain white breads out there are made with only partial whole grains, so they're not 100% whole wheat. But that might be a good start. And if that's all you can get your child to eat, then hey, that's better than the completely white bread that's out there. They do have whole grain white or white whole wheat flour out there, which is a whole grain. So that can be a good way if you're actually making your bread yourself or adding it to muffins and quick breads. It's a little less wheat tasting, like whole wheat tasting, so it has a milder flavor, but it's still a whole grain. It's just a different type of grain that's grown that makes it have that lighter color. So yeah, I get it. It's hard. It's a struggle, but they're just made. Most of them are just made with whole wheat. Any other questions? Yes?
Julian, what are your thoughts on like protein mixes for kids to put in smoothies? You see all sorts of marketing around that.
I don't think it's necessary. It's so they don't really need a lot. In general, Americans eat way more protein than we eat. We truly do need. Even as during adolescence, you can see the protein needs are, they're definitely increased from a 2-year-old, but they're still not that significant. It's actually really easy to get in the protein that we need without those. Now, if they're really like trying to put on extra weight, they're a big athlete or something like that, then maybe a little bit here and there is fine, but they really don't need enough that much. I'd rather use these naturally occurring proteins than those synthetic ones.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What's the story on flaxseed?
Flaxseed it's got high omega-3s in it. Now, with flaxseed or even chia seeds, they're kind of like a thing out there. The nice thing about chia seeds is you don't actually have to grind them. With flaxseed, it needs to be a ground flax. It also needs to be stored in the refrigerator once it's been ground because it will go rancid. But it's full of omega-3 fats, and if you're just putting in whole flaxseed into your food, it's just added fiber at that point. It's not bad for you, it's just added fiber. It's probably going to go through your GI tract untouched. Your body's not going to break it down, okay? So you're not getting the omega-3s that you probably need from it. So same would go for kids. I'll put a little ground flaxseed in my child's oatmeal or something like that, and stir it right in there. It's a great source of healthy omega-3 fats. So.
Isn't that the trick, though, that you're supposed to, that's for your GI tract?
It can be for heart health and GI tract.
Okay.
Fiber in general is really good for the GI tract. So the other thing that you have to make sure you're getting plenty of to have healthy GI tract is water. You need to be drinking a lot of fluids, especially if you're adding a lot of fiber to foods. So they go hand in hand. Fruits and veggies are full of fiber too, so that's another great reason to be consuming them. Any other questions? Yeah.
Thoughts on a low carb diet. So I'm on a low carb, and so my daughter's 14, and so obviously she's on somewhat of a low carb diet, but I don't. She eats what she wants. We always go for like the good, better, best. So I try to eat best, and I try to keep her in the good and better category.
Okay.
Is there anything that we could be missing by? I don't have any bread in the house. We only have wraps.
Okay.
I'll eat wraps.
So I think you just want to make sure that those grains that they are having are whole grain.
Mm-hmm.
Low carb diets, there's a lot of B vitamins in carbohydrate foods, like especially breads and grains. So when people eliminate those from their diet, adults and kids, they might be missing out on some of those vitamins. But sometimes low carb, they eliminate the breads and stuff like that, but then they're still having fruits and dairy products, which contain carbohydrates as well. I would just encourage, they don't need a ton, but they need some.
Okay, thank you.
And whatever kind of choose is fine. Any others? Okay, great, thank you.
Before the journey began, we overate and we didn't care about our health at all. My husband and myself. What was the biggest inspiration to finally say enough is enough? First, myself. I wanted to live a long life and my second, I wanted to promote good health and eating style to them. And thirdly, my husband and I. We started this journey in 2009. And we put the wheel on together, so it seemed good to take it off together. My steps to success, the first one's a good one. I looked in the mirror, and I really looked in the mirror. I was size 18, and they were almost too small. And I didn't recognize her anymore. I was embarrassed to my swim, or even more short. The second bullet is a tough one. Coming back is huge. You have to retrain your mind to eat things like nuts, celery, peanut butter, hummus, string cheese for snacks, and give up things like chips, candy, donuts, etc. Also eating healthy meals, like grilled tuna, chicken, and making zucchini noodles instead of eating the other ones. Desserts could be strawberries or a tiny bit of whipped cream. Third is to love exercise. If you eat right, but don't exercise, you don't see results. It's like filling your car with gas, but not driving any place. It only stays in the tank. Also, keep a routine the same. I get up every morning at 4:15 to my alarm and go to the light. Set small goals.
For example, I do 10 pounds at a time. Someone asked me, what's your ultimate goal? And I laughed because I'm so focused on 10 pounds at a time, I'll never stop. Again, keep a routine. Your body needs it. Now and then I plateau and our weight doesn't move. So my husband and I may share a piece of cheesecake, but the very next day I'm right back to the way at 4:15. Again, I cannot do this without support. People come up to me and tell me how great I look. It makes me know that I need to be doing this, not only for health, but for needs. Well, we started, what my challenges were, when we started this, I got pregnant with our third son. With the help of our OB, I was able to eat correctly and still work out, and I only gained 10 pounds through the whole pregnancy. I can play tricks on you was another big obstacle I had. It only takes 2 weeks to get into a routine, but one day to screw it all up. And then weddings, birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, the list goes on and on. We try to stay away from this stuff, but sometimes my husband and I will share a small piece of wedding cake or one piece of Christmas candy. Finding support is a great way to help you. People that will race with you. People to talk to about how you're doing. Be there for each other. Someone to say, should you really do that? Someone to go through the journey with. My slide 6 is dieting. I'm not going on a diet, it's a fad. You set yourself a lifestyle change that you can have for a lifetime. What do I mean? Well, when you get your goal weight, you go off your diet. What happens? You gain it all back. I'm guilty of this myself. When you're ready to start your journey, make it a lifelong commitment. You're worth it. This slide says it all. Love yourself enough. There's no better time than right now to start. I believe my journey has just begun. I will continue this adventure of good health for life. I'm happy to look in the mirror and find her every day, a better herself, one goal at a time.
Well, that was fantastic. Certainly motivated to put that box of chocolates that I just told Sharon about yesterday away. Thank you for sharing your story. That was truly amazing. So you're on that journey for 9 years so far.
9 years with one baby in between.
One baby, you gained 10 pounds. Wow.
Yeah,
I gained 10 pounds times a few.
Yeah, actually, Brenda McCullough threatened to put me in the hospital and feed me until I started gaining.
Yeah, motivation, right? Well, congratulations. You're an inspiration to me, certainly, and probably everyone in this room, so thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you can pass your green slips down to the right. We will draw for that.